Thursday, March 13th. In Linz, in Austria, where Hitler spent a part of his youth, the Nazi leader declares that the world will soon have to acknowledge the overwhelming superiority of the German army. At the same time, in Vienna, Goebbels says that the reason the Third Reich is so certain of victory is that the Germans are fighting for the rights due to a superior race. In the Battle of Britain, Luftwaffe planes bomb Glasgow and Liverpool. The RAF focuses its attacks on Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen. In Albania, the fighting between Greek and Italian forces intensifies as Mussolini's troops launch an offensive to retake the city of Klissura. In North Africa, the Egyptian Prime Minister, Siri Baja, declares that his country has voluntarily decided to support the democracies and fully believes in their victory. Meanwhile, the forces of Rommel occupy the Marata oasis in Libya, where there are no enemy forces. In China, Chiang Kai-shek distances his government from Moscow and draws nearer the Americans, who promise to send weapons and fighter and bomber aircraft. Friday, March 14th. In Poland, following the murder of theater actor Igor Sim and of Judge Waleski, Hans Frank, the German Governor-General of occupied Poland, warns that harsh measures will be taken against the civilian population if the culprits are not found. German planes heavily bomb the British cities of Glasgow, Liverpool, and Hull. The RAF strikes Hamburg. In Yugoslavia, the protests continue, and there are contradictory reports about the attitude and whereabouts of members of the government. In the United States, the House of Representatives approves a bill for a $3,400 million investment in the merchant navy. In North Africa, Rommel informs General Italo Garibaldi of his intention to launch a series of offensive operations in May with the aim of reaching the Suez Canal in Egypt. In view of General Garibaldi's doubts, Rommel sends the proposal to the OKH, the Army High Command, requesting reinforcements. At the front, the situation remains stable. In East Africa, in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, the Allies occupy Assosa and continue their advance along the Mendi Road to the west of the country. Saturday, March 15th. Favorable weather conditions allow waves of German aircraft to bomb the area around London and the port facilities of Plymouth and Southampton. The bombers of the RAF concentrate their raids on the German Ruhr region and the Nazi-occupied ports along the coasts from Norway to France. Five French soldiers living in Britain are parachuted into France to undertake subversive operations with resistance groups. In the fighting between Italian and Greek troops in Albania, Mussolini's forces continue their attempts to take back lost ground. In East Africa, in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, the Allied forces advance on all fronts. In the rest of the continent, the fronts remain stable. In the Sea War, the battleship Bismarck, currently lying off the coast close to Kiel in the Baltic, receives the first two Arado reconnaissance seaplanes. Meanwhile, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, commanded by Admiral Lütjens, intensify their attacks in the Atlantic and manage to sink 16 Allied ships. U-110, captained by Fritz Lemp, torpedoes the tanker Arizona. Sunday, March 16th. In the United States, at the annual function of the White House Press Association, President Roosevelt declares that the Lend-Lease Act shows that America will not appease dictatorships. The United States offers full and immediate help without conditions to Britain, Greece, and China, he says. At the same time, Warren Atherton, the chairman of the National Defense Committee, warns that the country is not yet ready for war. In Berlin, Hitler, in his speech on the Day of the Fallen, blames the British and French for having started the war and, making reference to Roosevelt's words, affirms that no country will be able to prevent a German victory. Britain will fall. In London, Winston Churchill's government urges all women between 20 and 21 years of age to do war services. In East Africa, British forces disembark and occupy Berbera in British Somalia, which had been taken by the Italians in August 1940. They later marched towards the border with Abyssinia, Ethiopia. In the Sea War, during the attack on a convoy, U-106, commanded by Jürgen Osten, sinks the merchantman Almkirk, and U-99, captained by Otto Kretschmer, sinks the Bewoon, the Ferm, the Franch, the J.B. White, the Korsham, and Venetia. Monday, March 17th. On Hitler's orders, German armored units are deployed to the Polish city of Krakow on the banks of River Vistula. In Ankara, Turkey, the government decides to close the Dardanelles to prevent foreign fleets from entering the Black Sea.
Pilots, man your plane.
The United States government continues its naval exercises in the Pacific Ocean. In East Africa, the 23rd Nigerian Brigade of the British African Division, commanded by General Harry Wetherall, crosses the Abyssinian-Ethiopian border to take Jijiga, from where the Italians have fled. In the Battle of the Atlantic, after spotting a convoy off the southern coast of Iceland, U-99, commanded by Otto Kretschmer, and U-100, captained by Joachim Schepke, form a wolf pack to stalk their prey. After attacking several freighters, the escort destroyer HMS Vanek sinks U-100, which goes down with all its crew on board. Meanwhile, the destroyer HMS Walker drops its depth charges against U-99, forcing it to surface and surrender. Kretschmer, the great hero of the German submarine war, is held prisoner by the British. a heavy blow to Hitler and his propaganda machine. Tuesday, March 18th.
But we could not do that. There are rules against that kind
In London, Winston Churchill, speaking to expatriate Americans, warns that the biggest danger for Britain is the submarine war being waged by the Germans. He tells his listeners that the German aim is to cut the shipping lanes with the United States and deny Britain the supplies it needs. This has led German U-boats and ships to carry out actions just off the American coast. John Winant, the American ambassador in Britain, states that the United States has gone into action against the common enemy. The British Secret Services undertake an operation to overthrow Prince Paul in Yugoslavia. In North Africa, Spain annexes the free territory of Tangier in Morocco. In East Africa, the fronts remain stable. In the Sea War, while the battleship Bismarck undertakes maneuvers and training exercises in the Baltic Sea, Karl Donitz, chief of the U-boat Waffe, who has recently lost 3 of his best commanders, orders submarines operating in the Atlantic to move further west in order to be able to attack convoys before they are joined by escort ships from Britain.